Ready to go live? We are live.
We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talking Mess with myself, Eldine Demery, and
Karen Demery.
Karen
Hashtag
Demery,
Talking
indeed.
Mess. Thank you so much for joining.
What episode is it? I'm pretty sure it's...
We don't even know what episode it is, but we are glad that you are here. Make sure you tag and share.
Yep.
Do we know what episode it is? We don't know. It doesn't matter. Make sure you tag a friend, share it out. We are here on Facebook. I think we're on Insta. Where it's some places. So I'm just going to...
Not on Instagram.
Are you sure it's not on Instagram?
No, it's not on Instagram.
Okay.
Unless it's on yours, because it's not going to mine.
Okay. No, I don't know. So welcome. Hello, everybody. I'm so glad that you are here. Hope you've had a fantastic week.
Yes.
Getting prepared for the following week that's coming or the week ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that you drop us a hello. Let us know where you are tuning in from. Make sure that you tag and share and do all of that good stuff. Would love to know that you're here. We are coming through on, I can see comments on my Facebook, but we are here on StreamYard as well. So sometimes the comments can be a little bit slow, but would love to know where you are joining in from so we can welcome you and say thank you for being here. How has your day been?
Long. Actually, very long. Yes.
Really? Why is it long?
Well, my morning, I think I'm working off about 5 hours sleep because it was an awesome decision to go to the gym at like 1 o'clock. And then I've been caught up on a documentary series, Bronwyn, What It Do. So I've been caught up on a basketball doco on Netflix, and it's just, I was so captivated. So I sunk the whole series, and then it just got me so amped up and pumped. And yeah, there was a song that came on that just fired me up. So I was like, I couldn't just stay in bed. So I had to get up, and luckily I have my own gym to go to. And then we cracked out about an hour session, come back, and then caught the last maybe 2 episodes, and then crashed out. Then I got up and was a part of IBA here in Dubbo, New South Wales, where it was the semi-finals and finals for the kids. And then those kids going forward who then got to make the the state and national teams. So then they'll head on to their next basketball tournament in, I believe, Gold Coast. Not sure the date.
Okay, cool. So is there any more IBA happening, or that's it?
So for Dubbo, New South Wales, no, because the New South Wales team have already been selected. So yeah, I'm not sure if what my role is going forward. I'm assuming that it will be in the hands of those in those management roles. But it was a pleasure to be a part of that and giving back to community and all that great stuff.
Awesome. Hello, Bronwyn. So glad you joined us. Hello. So my day consisted of colouring my hair. Yes, let's take a moment to enjoy the colour.
It's beautiful.
And then I was reading Sandy, and then getting ready for the weekend. Awesome. Just pretty much. So also just giving a bit of a shout out to anybody that has been affected or any family members that may have been affected by the floods.
Big shout out.
Absolutely crazy at the moment with how much water and stuff. And last time I checked, there hadn't been any loss of life. So I'm really hoping that that's still going to be the case. So shout out to you or your family, or if you know somebody who's impacted by that. Take care, do what you need to do. Because it's these kind of things that actually cause cause a lot of trauma because they're events that happen and stuff. And it was really interesting because I was watching the news, and this lady come on and she was talking about they had just finished, her and her husband, so they were an older couple, and had just finished a new renovation in their house. And she said, oh, well, we've lost everything because like the floodwater came through and literally like took half the house. And she was like, but at least we have each other, so it's all about perspective.
Definitely.
In that she was like, at least we have each other, we still have our life. And like she was crying and I was crying, and because your father's going, what are you crying for? It's like, there's the life, and he was just like, okay, but it was all about perspective. And then he's like, it's okay, I'm sure she has insurance, like it'll be all right. It's like, yeah, I know that, but I'm still sad for her. So perspective is a really interesting thing, because she was like, well, at least we still have each other and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And one of my mates, he is a musician, so he was traveling. I'm not sure where he was traveling to, but he was affected. All like his car got taken away for the floods, all his equipment. So we're trying to raise some money for him. So I'm not sure where I drop or where we drop comments. But yeah, we'll definitely we'll try and find I'll find a link, and then we'll try and find somewhere to post it so that we can help him or help others that have been affected in this time.
Yeah, it is. It's so incredibly sad, and things can happen so quickly.
Yeah.
I'm sure last week they weren't even concerned about their house being washed away and stuff. It was just like, oh, what am I going to do next week? They weren't thinking, wow, what am I going to do next week? I'm going to have to find another house because this one's washed away. It would have been like, I've probably got kids' sport, and I've got, school pickups, and I've got to take that thing to the dry cleaners. And then now it's like, oh, everything's gone. And so I'm just thankful that now I've got my life. So things change so incredibly quickly.
Yeah.
Did your headphones go funny on you?
Yeah, so I just took them off, so this way I can, if we want to go live on Instagram, then I can have you in there. Or I don't know how I do it. Let's go.
However, if you go live on Insta and then your sound thing goes again, and then you have to go out and come out, like I'm going to have that mum face, that, right?
The chances are high with that. I don't even know how to bring you on.
Look, and I just got a little thing that demo's going live on Instagram.
Click on that, and then so I can bring you up.
What? Oh, how? I see now you want to do tricky stuff.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so now I'm watching you. So Karen Demery's joined. So what are you doing with me?
So now
here we go. Request to join.
Yep.
Request. Oh my God, we're getting super tricky.
Boom. Good luck, Karen. Cool. So now we're on. Cool.
I love that we do tricky technology stuff.
Something like that. Cool. Awesome. So
let me turn that down because I don't really want to hear myself. Can you turn it down?
Yeah, no.
Oh, is that me? Down. I turned it up instead of down. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
You know that you can't have it because there's no sound.
Yeah, I don't know why that is.
Okay, that's weird. I'm going to leave because...
Yeah, I'm going offline too. But so yeah, that way I'm sure that they'll be able to hear you. So those who are on Instagram here, I'm talking mess with Karen Demery. So yeah, we'll just continue to go. You'll be able to hear what's happening.
Can you spin it around so that they can see us or no?
No, not both of us.
Oh, okay. Okay, never mind. So, okay, cool. Hello. Hi, Nick. Good to see you both. Looking great. You're looking amazing.
My God, what's going on? All the way from South Korea over there. Hope everything's doing well. You're kicking gold and straight killing it. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into the topic. We kind of touched on it just before about perception and those kinds of how everything, like obviously with the floods, it's kind of a a great perspective to kind of bring everything back and focus on ourselves. You spoke about your friend, and was she your friend?
No, she was just on the news.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. If, like, just bringing it back, and when everything's lost and things are going haywire, then just bringing it back into focus and those kinds of things. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So Vicky said that she can see us both. Excellent. Can see us, can hear us, it's working perfectly and stuff.
Happy days.
Yeah. And so it's funny because perception plays a big part in so much of what we do, because your worst day is somebody else's dream day.
Yeah,
so
big facts.
When you think about, oh my God, I'm having a stressful day, and I've got to, like, I don't know, got the kids off at school, and then I've got to go here, and then I've got to go there, and somebody else is going, like, I would literally kill for that. That day for me would be the most amazing thing.
Yeah, definitely. And like it's one thing that I was listening to a video on YouTube and talking about, obviously, because basketball is my go-to. A thing about Kobe Bryant. So the question was asked, does Kobe have bad days? And the guy in the crowd was like, nah, Kobe doesn't have any bad days, like, at all, because his bad days are others' like best days. And he's like, well, but for Kobe, is that a bad day? And they're like, well, yeah, he's only shooting like, maybe 5 from 15 or whatever. But it's like like you said, like some people were dead set killed to go through what Kobe was going through on his bad night, like mental, like all that mental game, and obviously the game itself. So yeah, bringing it back to like everyone goes through it. And
I also think, yes, that's such a great thing, because we hold these people who are in that spotlight or who have achieved so much, we hold them to this whole, oh my God, well, their life is just perfect and they don't ever have bad days, and they don't have like, oh, I'm feeling icky today and stuff. I was like, of course they do, they're human.
Yeah,
but
big facts.
When Kobe was having a bad day, like, he couldn't be like, team, I'm not coming to practice, or I'm not playing the game today because I'm feeling a bit, like, loaded, or I'm feeling a little bit like, how you going, or whatever. And so I'm just going to, I'm just going to leave it, and I'll catch us next week. Like he needs to just, like, okay, just move and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So Nick said, perspective is so important. We have been in lockdown since November. Oh, my heart. Business owners are so depressed, but if you change your perspective, it can actually be okay. Great start. We changed our perspective and have done well because of this business and mentally. Sorry to talk over Kobe legend.
No, like, and that's definitely it. Like, that I think that looking and changing perspective also breeds innovation, because you look at those who, when like the world first happened and we kind of got a little bit of a glimpse of what's going on, people were forced to change their perspective. People were forced to think outside their bubble in order for their business to grow and then flourish, because of the fact that things were changing, so they needed to change, and same thing with their business. And it's frozen. So those who are on Instagram right now, my news feed has frozen on StreamYard. So just bear with me here. I do believe that it's not me this time. So you good?
I think I'm going to blame the rain.
Yeah.
So let's go with the rain.
Awesome.
Because, like, let's just go with that. So I don't know how much people saw of us or didn't, or.
So yeah, I was still going live on the gram the whole time. But Nick Lennon said, yeah, 100. Miss Emily, how are you doing? They do say if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. 100%, definitely. Like, we need to keep thinking about new ways to come up with things that just aren't working. Just because they worked before doesn't mean they're going to work in the future. And obviously, when things do change, we need to change with it, so that way we can stay ahead of the curve, then behind it, and then our business gets left behind too.
Absolutely. Miss Vicky Lee says, yes, I hear you. Stand on the rocks that they throw. Ooh.
Big facts. 100%.
Big facts. Big facts. Yeah. So apologies for the internet. I think we just have really bad internet, and two, I'm just blaming the rain. Blame it on the rain. Milli Vanilli. Mate, you like Milli Vanilli with the long pretending?
Nope. Don't like that.
Mate.
I got a comment on the ground from Crystal. Seeing is believing. That statement is wrong. Believing is seeing. Ooh. Believing is seeing. What are your thoughts on that? Let me reread it again. Believing. Seeing is believing. That statement is wrong. Believing is seeing.
I think it's both.
Yeah, I think that both, you kind of can't have one without the other. If you take me, for example, with opening my gym here in Dubbo, I seen it in my head for decades. It was something that I seen in my brightest moments, but something that really just shined bright when I was at my lowest. So, and then believing at some point that it would come to fruition, not just, okay, it's a pipe dream, and like, hey, if I get it, awesome. If I don't, then, well, it just wasn't for me. It just wasn't in the cards. It was like, nah, fuck that. Like, it's going to happen, and I understand it's going to happen. I just don't know when, but best believe before my time is up on here, I'm going to have that gym. So I definitely think that both go hand in hand, and you really can't have one without the other.
Absolutely, because you need to believe that you can have it to see it, but then you also need to see it so that you can have it. So it really is a chicken and an egg thing. Yeah. And it's almost like that whole, it's almost like fish don't know that they're in water.
Yes. Where did I hear this? Was it you that were telling me this? Because this is brilliant. Sorry to cut you off, but everyone on the gram here, you'd listen up. Let me turn this up. And it's Max, but yeah, this is not brilliant. Go again.
So fish don't. Demo speaks better than me. Oh, Nick, you did great. Well, you're the man.
Yeah, Nick, you killed it. But yeah, keep going back to the thing, because I'm excited, and my people on the gram need to hear this.
I've completely forgot what I was talking about now. So fish don't know that they're in water. So you kind of don't know that you can have it until you actually I'm trying to put it into a analogy.
It'd be something like fish don't know they're in water until they're out of water. So until you're forced into stepping out of your comfort zone, or forced into like changing, you really don't know that, like, hey, everything's comfortable. Is that right? In a roundabout way?
Absolutely. And it's almost like, so if you were at your worst and you were struggling the most, and you didn't know that there was another option for you, how did you get to the point where you had the dream of having Demo's gym? Like, if you were in the midst of that and that's all you knew, then how did you get to a point where I'm going to have my gym? So it's almost like there had to be something that made you go, oh, I'm going to have this. But how could you know that if all you know is darkness, and everybody around, like, if everybody's in water and you're all in water, and then fish go, what water? Like, this is all I know. Yeah. How did you find that space to go, I'm going to have a gym, when all you had was depression or brokenness or being lost, that sort of thing?
Yeah, like, definitely is. And so it's really just exactly what it was. It was that I was out in the middle of the sea and I was drowning quickly, and that dream was just the lighthouse that was like, okay, I can see that there's something there. I don't know how I'm going to navigate through it all, but my perspective was obviously at times it fluctuated. Sometimes I was okay with where I was. Sometimes I was like, you know what, maybe it's time to just like tap out, wrap it up, and we'll see what's on the other side. And then sometimes it was like, nah, forget this. Like, I don't know what that light is. I have an inkling that, hey, it could be a lighthouse, but let's just swim towards it and then we'll see what happens. Worst case scenario, it's not what I believe it is to be, but at least it's something. And then maybe we can try to look at establishing a foundation, whether it's there or we need to keep pushing to something else.
So Miss Bronwyn said, fish don't know they're in a tank until they see the ocean. I love that. So good. And then the question I would ask from that, thank you, Bronwyn, because that was such a great thing. The question I would ask is, how do the fish in the tank get to see the ocean? Who takes them from the tank to the ocean?
Facts.
Like it has to be someone, because they're in the little tank, right? There has to be someone that actually takes them from that tank to go, oh, wow, look, here is the big ocean. And so, you bring that back to those who you're spending time with and who you're spending your time around. If everybody who you're around only knows the little tank that you're in, your little tiny fish tank like this, if only those people are the ones that you hang around and that's all you have access to, you're never going to know that there is actually an ocean out there, because somebody needs to facilitate that. And I guess in some ways, like the stuff that we talk about and the things that you do is trying to help people to know that there is an ocean there.
Yeah, definitely.
So we sort of have different conversations and hopefully we're sparking people's thought processes about stuff so that they can go, oh, isn't that interesting? I wonder what, like, I'll just park that and I wonder what that means or whatever. And so that there is a, very good point, Karen. Thanks, Nick. So you can then go, oh, wow, maybe that there's a something. And that's why we also, listen to the likes of, Gary Vee or Joe Rogan, or for me, it's all trauma stuff because that's what I love. But that's why being around those people and even on podcasts and YouTube and stuff is so important, so that we can have access to stuff to go, oh, I didn't even think of that. Oh, wow. Well, that's just completely like blown my mind because I didn't think of it. And then once you know that the ocean is there, once you know that the ocean's there, you can't unknow that the ocean's there. Like if somebody took the little fish out and then like took it to the ocean, be like, oh, look, there's the ocean, have a little swim stuff, and then brought it back and put it in the tank, that little fish would be laying there going, oh, I hate this tank. Oh my God, this tank is so yuck. Why am I in this tank? And if you're talking to the other fish in the tank, you'd be like, we need to get out of the tank. Much like Nemo. Oh my God, this is so Nemo.
And that like it 100% is like it's, and another perspective on it is that even if you do take the fish from the ocean and put it back in that tank, there's still that understanding of like, hey, there's something bigger out there for me. Whether you want to continue to just to stay in that fish tank that you're in and become familiar and comfortable and stay there for however long you want to, totally back on you and your choice. But you can never unknow that there is something bigger out there. That's like, we understand that out in the solar system is endless. Like from the first day that we discovered space out there, we understand that there is just endless miles. So like we can't unknow that now.
That's exactly right.
We can continue to stay here and do what we do because it's, again, like we're so immersed in it. We're here, but like if we look at it and we continue, like if we have a look and go to the deepest reaches of our mind, like that's not even half of what we can fathom for the rest of the galaxy and the observable universe, not to mention
That's
the
exactly right.
unobservable.
So this is your
Hold up, let me
zone.
just let me flip the camera around. Can I boom?
Can you do that?
Yep.
So that's your
boom,
comfort zone. You got it? You got it? Right?
Yep.
So this is you in the ocean. This is you in the little fish tank, right? Once you get told that there is a whole ocean out there, whether or not you go to the ocean, your comfort zone expands. And what happens is once you know that there's an ocean and your comfort zone has expanded, you can never go back to a comfort zone that's tiny again. You can never ever do it. So what you want to be continuing to do is to expand your comfort zone, because at some point, like we talked about with the perception and Kobe's bad day being somebody's best day, your comfort zone then becomes so much bigger that it's just a natural thing to go, I'm not staying in this tank, I'm going to go swim in the ocean. Although I don't know why we use the ocean analogy, because there's sharks out there and ain't nobody going to get in the ocean. But, like, once you know that it's out there, your comfort zone will expand. It can't shrink back down. So even on your worst day, even on your most anxious-filled, depressed, unhappy, stressed out, your comfort zone is still more expanded than it was before you went out of that fish tank and into that ocean. And so what you choose to do with that then, again, is entirely up to you. But once you've stretched it, it can't shrink back down. And so always looking at opportunities of how can I expand my comfort zone? What is the thing that frightens the bejeebers out of you? Do that.
Yeah. Definitely. So one thing that really used to work out for a few things, actually, two stories. So one, I was listening to a friend of mine, Sean Kober, who is the head strength and conditioning coach at Tiger Muay Thai in Thailand. And so he was talking about how when in the army, we did things that were tough. So that two things. One, we knew what it was like to be in adversity. Like, guys would go out on the piss until ungodly hours, but then they'd be able to back it up again at like battle PT and just general PT the next day, to be put in those positions where, hey, look, we're not feeling best. Things are rough right now. We got no sleep, but we need to dig deep so that we can get through this training. Like, hey, however you look at it, wrong, right, or indifferent, this is what happens. We still would need to push through, because those circumstances, when you're put in real life situations and you're not used to adversity, you're not used to pushing your comfort zone real far into like where you're redlining, you're not going to know.
That's exactly right. So Nick says 100%, I'm in Korea, hence I'm in Korea. But you still go slightly back. My friends here are into rugby, etc. I struggle with Korean, but yes, correct. I can't go back to my original. So how long are you in Korea for? Are you actually playing rugby, or is it something that you're watching? Like, there's a whole lot of questions I have, Nick, that I need some context around.
Nick's been there for a quick minute. I remember.
Okay.
Nick got out, and then he was straight over. And then. Oh yeah, and another thing was, I used to, like, go on a little personal and kind of off topic, but it ties in somehow. So I used to have dreams where I would be trapped inside my own head. So, or like, picture a quadriplegic where I couldn't move, couldn't do anything, but I was fully aware of what's going on, and it used to terrify me. And then one or two times it would happen, and then I was like, okay, what if I shifted it and then see if I can just go 5 seconds? Because 5 seconds in there would feel like an eternity. So then I went from 5, I went to 7, I went to 9, and then slowly I built up this tolerance where I was able to stay in that state. And then once I got out, things just that would used to before would kind of irk me a little bit, would put me in kind of those situations where I wasn't comfortable, after doing that, it didn't bother me so much simply because I was put in such a really bad and it was bad for me. And also like a little unforgiving and just trapped. And so once put into a situation, it is like it was putrid. But put in those situations where it's not life threatening, it's just someone else who's having a bad day. I'm like, is it going to kill me? No. So let's just have old mate go and do his thing, and then I can go and do mine.
Absolutely. And so there's always opportunities for you to shift that thinking like you did, shifting it so that then you can go, oh, yep, so I'm going to, see if I can get to 5 seconds or whatever, and being okay with the continual learning and the build-up and the process and
definitely,
and all that sort of thing, rather than thinking that you're just straight away gonna. So Vicky Lee said building tolerance levels, absolutely. And so you just, and again, it's the more you're able to, they talk about that with meditation and stuff. Like try to get to 5 seconds for that without your brain going. So I mean that in itself is huge for people, and just continuing to build on it and build on it and build on it and build on it. So then you get to a point where you can meditate for 2 hours and it's been like 5 minutes.
Definitely.
So Nick said, I learned a second language young before Chinese. It's so much easier for young people to learn Chinese, learn a language than older people.
Yeah.
Changed my comfort zone. Awesome. Ended up interpreting Chinese. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Ended up interpreting Chinese in the Australian Army.
Yeah, I remember he was a dead set, still is, but I remember being in he was a beast. I remember stories where brigadiers and big dick players were wanting him to head and interpret for him. So Nick, my God, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember conversations.
And so it's interesting because you said I loved my time, but it's strange to what you said. It's not possible to get back to that comfort zone. Absolutely, because even if you entertain the idea of being because your comfort zone now would probably be somebody's terror zone.
Yeah, definitely.
Because even with all of the stuff you've been through, your ability to be able to handle stuff is so much bigger than most people who haven't even seen that sort of stuff, to then go, even if you don't use it, even if it did shrink, let's just say for a thing that it shrunk a little bit, you're still being subjected to things that most of us have never, ever going to have to go through because we're not in that situation. And so thinking about, even if you never did anything else again, you could go, you know what? Oh, I'm going to run towards fire or whatever. And you might still be a little heart beating and stuff. Whereas there's some of us who would go, not on your life would I do that thing. So again, it's that whole, that perception is that, your bad day and you're feeling afraid is probably still most people's terror zone. You're like, oh, this is a little bit, how you go. It's still probably most people are like, I can't fathom that in this life. Because I'm not even able to comprehend some of the things that you've had to go through to be able to become soldiers. And then while you're in there, most of us are just like, I can't even.
Yeah, and I think it comes back to not only those who are in the army, but kind of in everything where it's all about exposure. So if we were, say
it again for people in the back.
Yeah, so it's all about exposure to whatever it is. So if we're looking, we could use almost any example. If we take the likes of Patty Mills, who is an NBA champion, if I was to go on that stage in front of hundreds of thousands of people, packed out arenas, plus the worldwide views, I would be absolutely terrified. But yet, when he's on that stage, that's his comfort zone. That's when he steps foot on the court. That's his go time. That would just, I'm assuming that would just get him in that zone and ready to turn on. But because it's that exposure, because he's had the exposure to one being an MBA and everything underneath that, and also exposure to the people who've gone before him, coaching staff, everything that goes along with being at that level, then his body's adapted to it, his mind's adapted to it. So when he touches foot on that hardwood floor and it's ready to go, he's not like, oh my God, like, what do I do? How do I shoot? Like, no, like he'd been doing this since he was the age of, what was it, 5? Something ridiculous. Like, it was, his lineage goes back to, you know, his Uncle Benny and Auntie Yvonne. They've been sports freaks since forever. So it's all about exposure to it. Same thing with hardships and adversity. If you are exposed to those after time, then they will still bother you, but yet you won't sweat the small stuff. There won't be those times where it's like, oh man, I can't, like, how do I get over this? One thing that I heard this week, there was an interview with Elon Musk, and he was asked a question like, how do you deal with something or whatever? I think it might have been either adversity or hardships, but he was like, you need to have for business owners, you need to have a high pain tolerance. And it didn't, at the time, it didn't hit me at all. But then it was like, okay, how can I flip that and use it for me? So I've had some stuff that just probably like the last 2 or 3 weeks that just hasn't gone my way. I feel kind of a little bit stagnant. I've been looking forward to things and then the rug gets pulled out underneath me, or I have clients who are booked in for classes and they don't show. 1 week I could have, 12 to 13 clients, and then the next, boom, 1 or 2. And so like mom, like super like sky high with, man, this is so cool. I have these clients for the first time, tripping balls because I have so many, I don't know what to do. But then like I just crash so hard the next one where it's like, man, I only get 1, but it's still like, okay, cool. Even if it's 30, 40, 50, 100 clients who turn up, I need to be able to turn up for that one person because they need me. So I need to have that like adversity stuff in the bank so that when it's time to go with other 30, 40, or I get that one, I can still switch on, I can still come to work and do my job and be effective regardless of what's happening, what's going on, because I had exposure to those hardships, those times where things just weren't going my way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it is very much about that muscle. You learn how to build that. And the thing is that you don't get to learn how to build that muscle until you're actually in it. So you can't learn to swim from a book. Like
I was just about to use that. You can't learn to swim on dry land.
You can't. Yeah. You cannot learn. You need to get into the water.
Yeah.
Like, get out of my head because that's like mine. But it's true. You can't. You need to get into the water. You need to go, oh my God. And you're going to have people who turn up to class. You're going to have people who are like, I don't even like you anymore. And, everything in between. And it is very much about a process and steadiness that goes, people will fluctuate. Yeah, and that's okay. And you're going to continue to be the lighthouse. You're going to be there for people. And then people will come and go, kind of like dad, so people will be like, oh, yeah, I'm here, and then I need to go, and people will come back, and then you've got, your regulars who are diehard, awesome, and then, and that's okay, because you're continuing to show up, and the fact that you've been in business for 4.5 minutes as well, because Demos is still a little bit new.
I'm gone into 7 weeks, maybe 8. I don't even know yet. Like, everything is kind of rolling into one. But also that when things are hard, once it gets past that point where it's hard, you then get to see like the lessons that you learned. So obviously when you're trekking through it and things are pretty shitty, things are just so like close in front of you. All you see is darkness and the pain and everything. But once you get to the other side, you're like, okay, I can see and I can understand why. Most of the time I was just overreacting, and things work out perfectly because of the fact that the one client that I did had, lovely human, love her to death, she actually needed that one-on-one time. So while I was tripping about, man, I need to get like more clients in. How am I going to do this, that, and the third? In actual fact, I was able to impact her on a much higher level than if she was able, like if the class was full. So, we talked through it. She had some issues, and then I was able to present some solutions and some things that I've gone through. If it helped her, awesome. If it didn't, that's awesome too. But it was able to step back afterwards and was like, okay, I can see why, how, like, for some magical reason unknown to me at the time, this worked out perfectly because I was able to impact her, and then that ripple effect going forward.
So it's almost like I'm just so excited. Melissa, she will get this because it's like, oh my God, and Bronwyn as well, and Nick, everybody will get it. It's everyone will get it. Everyone will get it because it's just so exciting. Because from the fish tank to the ocean, somebody has to take the little fish from the fish tank to the ocean. It's almost like somebody took you from the ocean and took you back into the fish tank and intercepted so that people stayed away so that you could help that person one-on-one. So it's almost like somebody came from who was looking at the fish tank was able to go, oh my God, I'm going to take them out of the fish tank to the ocean and push everybody away. It's almost like somebody else intervened with that. Is anybody else excited about that analogy, or is it just me? Because that's just like...
I think it may be just you. But yeah, like, I don't... Again, like, the circumstances were so far out of my realm. Like, I didn't understand why. Oh, Melissa, there we go. You got it.
Melissa gets it. Yes, I'm glad somebody else does, because it's like something else bigger than you intervened. And Nick gets it as well. Oh, I love you. Excellent. That's great. Come on, Bronwyn. Need a third. There we go. Like, oh my God, I'm so glad. And that is it. Yay! You're here to help the rest of us out of the fish tank. Yes.
Yeah, and it's...
Oh my God, it seems correct. Of course it's correct, Nick. Like, stay with us. Of course it's correct. Like, oh my God, it's like something bigger. And then it comes down to the trusting. Oh my God, this is so good. Like, I can't understand why everybody else is not jumping around, although I'm the fool. So
maybe because they're not as mental as you are.
But it's so exciting because then it goes into that whole, so when the student is ready, the teacher presents, you did that for us. That's what you do. Oh my God. And it's so good because then we trust. And so then our perception of the situation can change because we're trusting it more, as opposed to going, oh my God, this is really crap, and nobody showed up and all that sort of stuff. It's actually like, you know what, I'm trusting this process and I'm trusting how it's going to turn up. And whether there's one person here or 100, it's perfect because in that moment, that's what they need. So it allows us to have a different perception of the situation so that we can then go with the flow and build resilience. Oh my God, I love this. Oh my God. Is anybody else just, I can't believe that just not excited about it. That's like,
but
seriously.
Yeah, and then like in that moment going forward, that same situation, like if you ever put it in again, will never be the same. And then anything kind of similar, well then, while different, will have some traits where it's the same. And you know, where before is you maybe get your ass bent out of shape, now it's like, okay, cool. Well, for example, let's stick with that analogy. Like, cool, I have one client, awesome. Like, let's go balls to the wall. Let's tailor this session now because it's only you. We'll do a one-on-one. Like, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to work on, we can chuck whatever I had out the window and we can just focus solely on you. And if I have no one, then hey, cool, maybe I can get my training in. Maybe I can listen to a podcast. If my body's aching a little bit, I can do some mobility recovery, or I can get a brain workout in, which is what I've been trying to do because I've been trying to juggle at the moment to try and just learn a new skill and get that hand-eye coordination up. And plus, one of my girls in the netball team, she can juggle, so kind of competitiveness came out, and I was like, nah. She's like, can you do this? I'm like, I will be. I can't right now, but give me some time and I'll get it.
So Miss Vicky Lee said, everything happens for a reason. Nothing is random. Absolutely. And there has to be.
I think that, so the level of randomness, I think that we can't fathom. Everything is effective from something else. So let's take all those clients, for example, where the reaction was that no one showed up. So the action was that, hey, they had something else happen, or this, that, and the third. And the reaction was that no one turned up to the class except for one. So I think that while that statement can be true, I think that the level of randomness is just so far like random that we just can't fathom it. If that makes any sense to you at all, because it makes perfect sense.
So Don says, "Hi, brother.
What's up, boss?"
Yeah, it absolutely does, and then it gives us the opportunity to then be able to look at things in a different way. And so
Definitely.
that's also then when it comes back to our ability to reflect. So because if we don't make it a practice to reflect on something, which is why whether it's journaling, whether it's a mentor, whatever, a coach, that's why your sessions are so great with the fast track program that you've got, the quick start program, is that the people get the coaching as well, because it's not just the turning up, it's like the mindset stuff and the body and food and all that sort of stuff, to then have the ability to reflect back and go, so this is what I'm thinking, this is what happened, having those conversations, which again allows you to get out of the fish tank and into the ocean. So because there's other fish in the ocean there with you, as opposed to you just being in the fish tank and there's 75 fish in there and you're all swimming around looking at each other, being able to then have a conversation with a pelican, or who else was indoors, a little starfish or like whatever, being able to have those different conversations and reflection to then go, so what do you think about that? And this is what I thought. And now go, oh, have you thought about this? And it's like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh, that's great. Yeah, thank you for telling us. So Miss Vicky Lee said that client may not have disclosed her needs with other people there. 100%. That opportunity for her to be able to have that, I'm assuming, was simply because that was what she needed in that moment to move her forward. And you may never have where there is nobody at a class again. And everybody, like, might always be numbers, and that just may be the way that it goes. But in that moment, for that situation, and it's always interesting for me because I need to think that there has to be a reason for what we do, because there can't just be randomness, because otherwise, I like that holistic training. Absolutely, that's what he does really well. Is that whole? It has to be the whole of life. It can't just be that one.
Yeah, it has to be, and that's not something that like I magically found off my own bat. That was someone else taking me from the fish tank and showing me the ocean. Was like, if I'm training my ass off, if I'm training my ass off, but I go and have Maccas straight after I finish, and then I'm up until 3 o'clock playing the PS5. Like, how is that going to help me reach my goal? It's like, nah, champion. We have to look at the rest of the 23 hours out of the day first, because if your sleep's out, that's going to affect the rest of the day, not to mention all the chemicals and hormones that's getting released into the body, so that we're already a step behind. Now, if we don't eat and we don't drink, okay, let's add 2 more notches up on that, because obviously we need water, we need fuel. Then everything else on top of that, that's a stress to the body. Not sleeping is a stress. Eating the wrong things, inflammatory, stress to the body, all that kinds of stuff. So when you're put into that position of, okay, now it's time to train, you have like your capacity to train, like, because you have all these other things going on, like, training's going to be shit. So you need to look at the rest of the 23 hours the day. And we also need to train the brain just as much as we need to condition the body. Because you look at those guys, like you look at selection course for the special forces, not just here in Australia, but like worldwide. A lot of from what I've heard on podcasts and YouTube, they all say that it's 90% the mental side of things. Obviously, you need to be conditioned like a friggin' weapon, but you know, guys have done it with broken legs and those kinds of things. So being able to tie in everything and be smart about training, but then also the mental side of things. So we got a comment from one of our peoples here. So Karen's going to say the comment loud and a little bit slow for the people on the gram, please.
Okay, so the chance of us being born, so this is from Miss Melissa. The chance of us being born at the moment we were born, to the parents we were born to have the experience we have experienced that have led us to this space in our life, and then to get here in this moment to be learning these things, it blows my mind. But here we are sharing this time and space. It's universal synchronicity, and I'm ever so grateful to be sharing this space. Oh, we love that you're in this space, and I love you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%. I was just about to add on top of that, but yeah, you said it perfectly.
That's right. Like of all the places that you could be in all of the times, and you're here. Like and we're all here together, and like it makes my heart smile.
It's so mind-boggling to me that like people spend 50 minutes listening to us, and it's like while we do say some, and like I always come back to it, the reason why we started this was not to really just go out and give like all this kind of information and things. It was really just so that like one day you're going to be gone. So if I'm able to look back and get some kind of clarity, then maybe a seed that's planted now that I won't pick up for another 30, 40 years. Like, you know, that oak tree seed may be planted today or in a previous episode, 30, 40 years that may flourish for my kids and be like, okay, that's what she meant. And plus that video log will be forever there now. So
that's
yeah,
right,
and all that is happening in this space and time, and people are coming along for the journey and the ride. It's such a trip to me, but it's brilliant. I love all you guys.
That's right. And it's so amazing that you have only epic people at the gym. Like there are only epic people who go to demos. There are no
dips. There are no dips.
There are none whatsoever. Like it is just epic humans. You should change the name to like epic humans. Like demos, boxing and fitness, epic humans only. Like because that's all it is.
I'm gonna say no to that one.
What? See, in 30 years you're gonna come back. Well, I'm still gonna be alive because then I'll be 50, 60, 70. I'll still be alive anyways and stuff. But you're gonna go. See, remember when you said no? That's what you should have said.
And when you're 80, I'm gonna say that's still a no.
That's right. So when there are franchises all around the world, it'd be like you still had that epic humans as a subline, and you'll just be like, it's still a no. It's absolutely
still negative on that.
Still a negative, but it is. It's so great that we get to spend this time because each of us will then go out from this and having everybody comment here, and it's all like that energy suit that happens that we then go out and have that conversation with other people. You speak so rationally and you do it for people to help themselves. It's honestly amazing. Best thing is that you talk so well.
So yeah, let me the people for the gram. So that was a comment by one of my mates, Nick Lennon. He said, "You speak so rationally and you do it for people to help themselves. It's honestly amazing. Best thing is that you talk so well." And which is weird because I don't feel like I've always been and had the ability to talk. I get that from my mother. So but yeah, like we're just having a conversation. Like we're just, as the name suggests, like we're just talking some shit. And the only reason we didn't say talking shit is because we want to keep it PG a little bit. So we said talk a mess, which is
that's exactly right. And you know that if you swear, then Facebook will not show it because they go through and check the wording and stuff.
And all that.
So thankfully, there's 6 people who are listening because otherwise, nobody else is going to hear it. But that's okay.
I don't know who it is, but I got 2 here, and
I got Miss Vicky Lee over here, which is great. And we've got people here, which is epic. We've got like a whole 9 humans. I love it. But doesn't it blow?
I got a question for the coach from Coach. So, as a coach, do you set yourself performance goals? If yes, how do you measure your success? Ooh, I think that's a great question. Absolutely stunning question. So I think that I don't so much. What's up, Nat? I don't so much set goals as in, okay, I need to go and hit this many clients. Some days I do, but it's more about how can I give as much information as I can. And then whatever it is from there, I leave up to my clients. So whenever I go into whatever I'm doing, like my training, for example, I always give my people the reason why I'm doing this. Like, hey, the reason we do this is because if you're ever put in this situation, I would rather you have it and not need it, or correction, not use it, than being put in that situation where like, hey, I wish I had it, but unfortunately I don't. So I always come and give the reason why as my, as kind of my goal.
And I think the other thing that you do as well, which you probably don't realize you do, but when I tell you, then you'll realize actually you do it, is that while you may not set specific goals, you always switch on and be there 100%. So you're always showing up at 100. So I don't know if you're aware that that's like something that you do, but it's always that, like, you know, going into the phone box and putting on the Superman suit, like you're there 100, like you're completely tuned in. And so while it's not a specific written down, this is what my goal is, it's like I'm committed to being here 100% with you, boom, and that's it. You get all of my attention, you get me focused for that particular amount of time.
Definitely. Like it always comes back that obviously my goal always is to get my client at their, like, to whatever level that they want to reach first and foremost. Like that's always top of my list, but yet that route to getting them there is never just a straight line. Like it's one day they could be really all about it, be like, man, let's go and get it. Whereas some other days they just like, look, hey, I'm just not feeling it today. I don't know what's going on. I'm just not there here, and I'm just not there here as well. So what I had in mind may not be good for them that day. Not to mean like that it may not be good down the track, but for right here, right now, I need to shift my perception of what I'm going to do, so that way I can still push them and push the needle in the right direction, so that it gets them to their goal, and then obviously ticks off my goal to get them to their goal. A lot of goals in there.
Everybody's kicking goals. Everybody's getting a goal. We're kicking a goal. We got a goal. Excellent. Lots of goals. Absolutely. And I think that brings up a really great point, that the standard stock response that everybody tells you is that you must have it written down. You must have it clear and stuff. And for some people that works like so well.
Brilliant.
There are people like it works for them. I know a couple of people who they would die without a list. They have lists about lists. Like it was all about the list and the goal and stuff like that. For other people, if you talk to them about a list, what is that? I've never had one. I go with the feeling and stuff. And so it's about what works for you. So you already know what's working for you. And
100%.
Rather than try to fit yourself into a mold that doesn't, actually think about, so how does this work for me? How does this thing that I'm doing, so I want to get fit and healthy. Okay, great. So am I the type of person who likes to write down my goals and see how I've tracked with them? Am I someone who likes to just do a little bit more today than I did yesterday? Am I somebody who just goes, I'm just going to flow with it and stuff? So going with whatever works for you, what's right for you, and listening to your body is so incredibly important. Because I have this thing on my neck here, like it's like a skin thing, and every time I eat, like, because I've discovered these little tiny little chocolate ice creams, oh my god, so anytime I have too much dairy, this thing comes up on my neck. So I know that if I have gone off drinking lots of water and eating more vegetables and fruit, I'm going to have this little thing on my neck. So I know that if I'm eating lots of those chocolates, that's going to come up and it's going to be itchy and it's not going to make me happy. So I've got a choice to either go, you know what, I'm going to give up my little chocolate choc top hundreds and thousands of ice cream. You need to go to IGA and get some. Oh my god, they're so good. Oh yeah. Anyways, so you can give up those, or go back to being healthy and or suffer through it and stuff. So what works, like, for yourself. So go with whatever that is for you. So if it's you writing down the goal and stuff and going that way, if you're one of those people who go really well with fasting, then fast. If you're one of those people who need to work out before a session, then eat before a session, then eat. If you're one of those people who can't stand the thought of having food before or after, then like go with what works. Trust that trust that you're all capable of figuring out what's working for you, rather than going, well, that's what the expert said I have to do, so they must be right and therefore I must be wrong and must not know what works for me. And you're trying to push against something that just doesn't work for you, and then you go, you know what, this is crap, I hate this, I'm not even going. Don't want to.
Definitely. Like it. And I think another thing that ties into that really well is that the intent behind it as well. Like if hey, I need to drop weight for a fight, the intent is while I'm in this, I've got a Q&A question here, but while I'm in this, like this phase here, this prep phase, the intent is I need to lose weight, I need to get in fight shape and be fight ready, so that once I get into the ring and it's time for war, like I'm good to go, I'm at my absolute peak, so that I can perform at my best. So yeah, I got another question here. Why do humans insist on drinking cow's milk? No other animal on the planet feeds on another milk. I don't know why.
I don't drink cow's milk, which is really because I don't have any dairy products except for that ice cream, which is why this thing comes up on my neck, because my body just goes, no, I don't like it. But it's so yum, and it's a little
I hate milk. I absolutely cannot stand milk.
Yeah, I can't stand the smell of milk. I have black coffee.
But it's just like, I guess, like some people love it. Like some people absolutely love fucking peanut butter. Like I'll fight anyone that brings peanut butter close to me. Can't even touch the can't even talk about it for too long. Start to break out in hives.
Then why would you bring it up? If you hate it so much and it makes you want to drive
I know. Yeah, I don't know, because I'm an idiot.
So now we're not even in a happy place. So can we just get rid of that? Can we just shh? Let's bring happiness and rainbows and unicorns.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, so does anybody have any questions?
Yes. Anyone from the crowd before we're close to wrapping up. So, how have you felt tonight's kind of session, really? How have you gone?
I think it's been fantastic, because for me, I got some realizations, which is brilliant, and being able to share those with the epicumens who are here has just been phenomenal. I'm forever grateful that anybody shows up and yarns with us, which is what we love, which is what Demos is all about, is that building a family of warriors and stuff. So I think that's phenomenal. I love that people come and yarn and stuff. Miss Vicky Lee said, great session. Thanks, Vicky. I appreciate it. So I think that it's been really good, because it's helped me get some clarity around some stuff, and I think it's always great to, we talked about having a mentor and be able to talk through stuff, and this is pretty much what we do here. We're just having a yarn session, and because we're going to wrap it up, because we've made a commitment that we're not going to go for 2 hours, because we know it's a Sunday night.
Sunday night,
needing to get yourselves ready and stuff. And
I need to get to sleep right now.
You need to get to sleep so that you're not falling asleep with the bike tomorrow. But if anybody wants to jump on next week,
let's do that. Like, I'll just press the button. But let's legit get someone on. Either if it's someone from the gram here, or someone on StreamYard or Facebook. Let's do that, because we
can bring people on. We can send you an invite so that you can come jump on and stuff. So Miss Melissa said it's so good on a Sunday night to prep for the mindset. Absolutely, and
Yeah, and that's what we've done. So we've tried this before. We've tried it on a Tuesday night, and I think like a Friday, something just really random. But we found that at this time, for some strange reason, after everything that's been kind of crazy, like this is the time that works. So, and I think we kind of just fell into it really, where we're like, hey, like this is, if we do this on Sunday, we can kind of set up people's week. But in doing that, like we also set up ourselves for the week. Like, we can take because when we teach people, we're also teaching ourselves. So that's one of the big things that I tell everyone at demos is that I always get people to come in and say, what did you learn today? Whether then like my kids are like, I don't know what I learned. But like you still have to tell me something. Why am I echoing right now in yours?
I don't know. You haven't been echoing. So did you press a button? Did you move it? You've done something.
I don't know. I did something.
You don't sound echoey to me. I don't know if you're echoey to anybody else, but you're not coming across echoey. So,
that's So I get people to tell me things. So the fact that they get to learn it twice.
Absolutely. And the languaging of things is so very important because it's what we say. We talked about seeing it is believing it, and believing it is seeing it. Then the languaging that we're using around it, if we're always saying, oh, this is really hard, everything's hard and stuff, you know what? It's going to be hard. Whereas if we say, oh, wow, like this is a great challenge, or this is, a bit tough, but I'm up for it, or, this is like horrible, but I'm going to keep going. Being mindful of the language is really important because it plays into so much, like I can't do it. I can't. Well, yes, you can. When I was doing my leadership thing and we had to trek halfway across the country for 4 days with a pack on our back, it was horrendous. And all I just kept saying was just one foot in front of the other. Just one foot in front of the other. Actually, I said 2 sentences. If sun can do this, so can I. One foot in front of the other. Sun can do this, so can I. One foot in front. And I literally did that for 3 days because it was hot. I was fat. I was unhealthy. I was grieving. Like I was not in a happy place. And any normal person would have said, you know what, I'm not going. But me being a hero, I was like, I'm just going to push myself, right?
100%.
So my languaging was really important because if I had to keep saying I can't do this, I was literally. And this is the other thing. Oh, and then we'll finish on this. The other thing that was really important is, which is why demos is so important, is to find yourself a team. Because here I was, right? We had to do the whole lead up to it, and then we had to do these 3 days where we trekked across the countryside. It was horrible. It's horrible. We did for 10, 12 days, I think it was. But we did like 3 days, super, super tough. And I was thinking, you know what? I'm going to get to this point, and then I'm going to go, I'll just wait here. I'll wait with the medics. You fellas go because we're all a part of a little team. You go, and then I'll catch you on the way back. And we got put into these little teams for these whole 12 days. And they were saying, we started as 6, we are finishing as 6. And I was like, no, look, I'll just wait. And they're like, no, we will carry you if we have to. And so it was like, right, okay, so then I had to sort of go. But it was that team that got me through when I didn't think that I could and I didn't want to. I just kept going. And then later I found out, we were having conversations about it because they were like, oh, we thought you were going to die because it was so hard. It was like, it was freaking hard, let me tell you. But one of the women was like, you know what, Karen? I really wish that you'd have quit, because if you would have quit, I was going to quit with you, and I was just waiting on you to quit, and you wouldn't. So therefore I couldn't.
Yeah. And like that's one of the things, like we don't know who's in that same hurt locker with us, or who's close to like, hey, tapping out or whatever. Like, so we just keep going. And that whole thing about finding and being around a team, like even if we look at the Chicago Bulls dynasty, it was never just Michael Jordan. Like you look at the likes of, they added in Scottie Pippen, they added in Dennis Rodman, who they absolutely hated because he was on the Pistons team, and they swept him, but not swept and beat him. But you know, he needed a team. Jordan needed to go out there and find different pieces to the puzzle And that's what I'm trying to do with my clients. Like, I'm not gonna be that dude that has all the answers. Like, no one is. Like, let's be clear about that. But some of my clients may be in similar to others. So they could have a better answer than I do. And that's so sick. Like, that's so dope that, hey, coach may not be available. Boom, let me call up this person. Let me call that person. Let's go and kick it. Like, there's the reason why. Cool. Be safe now. Like the reason why I speak so highly of the boxing shop in Brisbane, with Gareth and Shara and the whole team, as well as DC, Mitch, Dan, Riley, all them, is because of the fact that they tell people all the time, I don't have the answers, but I will find it for you. Whether that's they go out and do it themselves, or they put it up on a Facebook group, or they ask their friends, like, everyone's going to cover the piece that's missing. So that's just what I'm trying to do. Like, if I don't have all the answers, boom, I'll ask some of my people, some of the team. If they don't have it, cool. They can put their feelers out, and then I can put mine, and then maybe we can come up with the answer. Maybe we don't. Maybe we all have to go and look as a solid team. But it's all about going and finding that team together. That's what I've done in boxing. It's all about finding that together, and as that team, it's nothing beats a solid team. You look at the top dogs in whatever it is, sports, business. You look at Elon Musk. It's not just Elon Musk doing the whole Tesla thing. He got a gang of people underneath him. Like, they're a solid team. You look at Jeff Bezos and what he's doing over at Amazon. It's not just him, although he is big dick player over there. Like, he has a team of people underneath him that needs to be competent at their jobs and know their role if and when it comes up, so that, hey, so-and-so can step in because Jeff doesn't have all the answers. Someone can step in and know more knowledge about this subject than Elon Musk. So that's cool. Like, then those people are going to have to learn a different style of leadership, because they may need to step back and lead from the back, give old mate the chance to shine because he has more relevant information than the rest of the team, including Elon Musk and those guys. And that's what I'm trying to do with me and my team.
Absolutely. So Miss Bigelee said networking. It's so important. You know, you can't do it by yourself, and you're not supposed to. You build a team, you build a community. People, like, we desire to belong. And so having that place where you can go, where you belong is what we will literally kill for.
100%. There's so many, and like I could sink into this rabbit hole about it, but it's that team is one, like we desire. Like, if you look at, I know, like with you, like you've gone to so many different gyms, and that you just weren't feeling it. You've gone to Fernwood, you've gone to Club Lime, you've gone to Anytime Fitness. I think even one point you had Snap Fitness. You were trying to do push-ups in your own room at one point. But yet, when you found that place, no matter what it was, with me at times awesome. I think that, like, we was getting it in during COVID stuff. But even then, like, you found your own little niche here and there. And then when you found it, like, you was just a different person. I'm exactly the same. I think everyone else is the same too. Once you find that team, that solid place of like, hey, I could come out and I could be at my absolute worst in front of these people, and they would do nothing but pick me up and give me props. Like, that's something that I'd dead set kill for, and so would other people.
That's exactly right. Most definitely. So Nick said team and community is important. A respected leader gets that done, though. Absolutely.
Big facts. And like we'll need to, like, let's wrap this up at the last thing. So because like again, like boom, I was hella tired, but I could go on for ages now. But there was I think I've said it before, is that a great leader has the ability to lead from the front, but also the back. I think that's 100% true, where if you don't have all the answers, you need to check your ego at the door give someone else the floor. Let them, like, you hand them the training wheels to their bike. Let them do their thing while you're still paving like the road for them to travel on. And then when it's time to go to work, like, it's okay, boom, he's done their job, step into it, and then kick off after that.
Absolutely. Miss Melissa has been there, session 1 at my worst.
Boom. That's it. Yeah, man. And then she came back like the next time, straight up killed like a beast right now. Like, she was killing it. She was in
warrior.
like, she was like for reals, like was dead set. She was in a locker. Face was all kinds of red. But I was like, hey, give me one of those. Boom. Was getting like she was out there putting that work in. So stop now.
That's the workout warriors. Warrior woman. Shh.
Whose man's is this?
Mate, I'm telling you right now.
Right.
So Miss Vicky Lee said, lead by example and be open enough to learn. Absolutely.
100%. Yep.
That's what we do. So what's your word for the week? What is your focus? What is your intent? What is your thoughts that you want to leave?
Let's stick with intent. So I think.
Really, you turned it off. Oh, look, my head's gone crazy. Hell yeah. Miss Brown said, hell yeah, bringing back the warrior woman.
I ain't doing that. Nah, probably, we're going to be.
It's warrior woman. How do you do it? It's different to me.
I did. That's because I'm a little different. So I guess what I'm taking into this upcoming week is, well, for starters, that's a damn good question. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of like, please stop.
Mate.
Thankfully, people on the gram can't see you because they were turned off. No, I think that this is something that I get to reinforce myself by telling people, like, this is kind of my going forward into the week. So it's not just about what am I going to do from here. Like, of everything that I've said to everyone here on this service, but also on the gram here, is that, like, you know, we've talked about so many things. We've talked about being able to lead from the front, from the back, perception. Yeah, Ron was kind of like that. But yeah, like it's the leading. It's being the lighthouse. It's all about, you know, perception of things, not taking things too serious. Things happen for whatever reason that they happen, then we kind of just have to deal with it. So while I'm telling and giving it like knowledge to people out there, I'm also doubling it down so that way I'm able to go through this week with more knowledge and better clarity.
Yeah, but it would be cool if we'd have like a word or an intention, or then why can't you play? See, you ruined my warrior thing.
You ruined it.
I didn't.
It's already ruined.
It was so not ruined. It was so not ruined. It is like a thing. We should get like a logo made up for that.
We should not.
We should.
What does Nick Lennon say?
So Nick says, demo your demo. You definitely know it. Keep it inspirational. Thanks, Karen, for making me understand more. Really help. Biggest help for me in career so far is make sure you can criticize your own doing in business, keep you more open to change. Fantastic. Thank you both. Perspective is most important here. Spoke both very well. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you spending time with us. Yeah. Have yourselves a fantastic week. If you think that somebody, because we did drop some gems tonight, like, let's be real.
We did. I dropped some gems.
If you think that somebody might benefit from it, then tag them and tell them to start it like halfway through, because there was obviously a little bit of talk and mess at the beginning. You know, or they can watch the whole thing through. But absolutely, I think there are some things in there that can really help people to go into this week with a completely different mindset and having their eyes open to perception and intention and starting to think about, are you in the fish tank? Are you in the ocean? And where can you be? Really, you're moving it now. Hello, what are you doing? Mate, why are you going to ruin things for? I was in the mid-flow. Are you in the fish tank? Are you in the ocean? And where can you help someone to go from the fish tank to the ocean without them reeling it? Like, you can be the one to go, you know that you're in the fish tank? Here, let's put you in the ocean, and you can be the one for them, because they half the time don't even know that they're in the fish tank. So you can be the one to go, actually, you know what? You're in the fish tank. Let's go over here to the ocean and see what's possible. And so I'm excited about
you can be the one to help facilitate growth.
You can absolutely, and it could be just one sentence. It could be one cup of tea. It could be one, whatever. Mate, I'm thinking that's a warrior woman moment. Fly away, warrior woman, fly away.
Please stop.
Be the pelican. Oh my God, Bronwyn, be the pelican. That's right. Because you know the pelican flies in and goes, whoosh.
Bronwyn, I'm talking to you. Don't encourage her, otherwise I'm putting you back on your salt buck. My guy, Glennon, latest.
Okay, so Miss Vicky Lee's word is perception. I'm loving it. I'm so interested, sis, for you to jump on next week, because I'd love to find out how your week's been with your perception. So be interested to see how your week goes with that. But absolutely, because your perception is how you see the world. Imagine if you saw it from the fish tank to the ocean and the pelican. Be the pelican. That could go on a T-shirt as well. Be the pelican.
It could, but it's not.
Oh, so why? Why are you going to ruin my fun for? Why are you going to be that guy?
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to wrap it up there before we start talking even more stupid stuff than we normally do. So people on the gram, just want to give you a big shout out. Thanks for those who tuned in and asked questions, but also just everyone in general that, Bronwyn, you going straight on your salt bike. Thanks for everyone for joining in, and we hope to see and hear from you either through any kind of means of social media. Tell us what you liked, tell us what you didn't like, which is even better. 0467 885757 if you want to text that through, or hit us up on any kind of social media from there.
That's right. We shall see you next week. Excited. Stay fabulous.
Latest.
Be the pelican. Be the pelican.
I'm done.
Loving it. Mate, loving it.
I'm done. All right, latest.